Zero Point Entropy. Aligning with your true self without distortion.
With so much going on in the world, with so much going on in our lives, in our neighborhoods, in our communities, in our countries, war, inflation, and just so much uncertainty in general, many times all we want is peace. Peace of mind. As we drive to work, as we lay down to sleep at night, all we want is just peace in our minds and in our lives. In today's world, you have things like, the Epstein files, and you have a war in the Middle East, and whatever else may be going on in your lives. As humans, all we want is a break from all of that, and to be able to enjoy our families, to enjoy our lives. That's completely normal. Hi, my name is Osuna. Welcome to Zero Point Entropy. And here at Zero Point Entropy, what we're doing is we're getting back to the 0 point. In our previous videos, we've talked about how, the center is the place that integrates both negative and positive, with positive being over here and negative being over here, and sort of the pendulum being down here and then just swinging this way and swinging this way. And, maybe you've had a great day, so you swing a little bit more this way. Or maybe you hear about the news and there's some, terrible thing that happened and it makes you swing in the negative direction. And although it may be natural to think that you always want to be in the positive part of this pendulum, it necessarily means that it's going to swing eventually back this way. And one thing that we've talked about in our previous videos is how to stay centered throughout so much turmoil and so much pendulum swinging. Peace lies over here, the positive end of the pendulum. And war, we'll simplify it by calling it war. Although this could be, you cut the grass is growing out of control. Or the kids are screaming and the kids are sitting down reading a book and being peaceful. When war is happening, all you want to do is swing back this way to peace. Although the tendency is going to be to want to move over to peace, there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's natural for us to want peace in our lives. However, I'm going to present to you an idea. We're going to apply it to this pendulum metaphor, and that is harmony. So while peace may be on this side and war may be on this side, harmony is right here. We live in a dual reality. We live in duality. We live in a world where we are here to learn by contrast. And by contrast, we necessarily have to have war. Again, I'm not necessarily taking the literal meaning of war, although especially right now, we're always going to have some sort of war. Whether it's with our, the neighbor, or whether you encounter, somebody with road rage, you get a bill in the mail that you weren't expecting. These occurrences, these happenings that offer us a chance to learn via contrast, allow us to many times have a catalyst so that we can learn through this pendulum and eventually get to the 0 point. Harmony is a place where you can have an immense amount of peace happening. Maybe the birds are singing, it's a beautiful day, there are no wars happening, you're having a good day at school, you're having a good day at work, and everything's going great. That is peace. However, if you swing that way, and if you allow your body and your emotions to completely swing in the direction of ecstatic happiness, there's also nothing wrong with that, okay? And if you want to stick with that in your life, and if that's working for you, great. However, you have a car accident, it means that there's another war that's announced, then you're gonna be swinging back to the negative part of the pendulum. Versus if you keep it centered. I know there's a great day happening, the birds are chirping, the bees are buzzing, but you bring it back to harmony. And maybe you need to take the bus that day and there's a bus strike, or you got some bad news in the mail. That news, that occurrence, that happening does not swing your pendulum all the way to the negative side. And if you win the lottery, there's absolutely nothing wrong with emotions. And we need to have them. We need to express them and have them fully. Do we need to have them for the whole day? Do we need to have that same emotion, that same elation for the whole week? I leave that back in sort of your hands. However, what I'm bringing to you is a concept. It's not swinging your pendulum all day long, all week long, all month long, all year long. And that centeredness brings you clarity. It also harmonizes your mind with your heart and your body. And you're able to, no matter what is happening, you're able to stay centered, to breathe. Your heart rate is stable. Your breathing is stable. Words are stable. Your thoughts are stable. Your life is not being dictated by this pendulum. So again, nothing wrong with peace. However, if you prefer to have harmony in your life, then it is okay that bad things are happening around you. And that peace may be happening, that war may be happening, but that you are okay no matter what is happening. And until next time,